Welcome to day 59 of the 100-day mindfulness challenge. My name is Miss Steer, and today we are going to be identifying and demonstrating emotion through tone of voice. This is our last day to be looking at relationships this week, and I do want to build on what we've done about body language and now begin looking into tone of voice. So what do I mean by tone of voice? Well, it's the way that you say something. Much like our bodies speak for us and tell people around us about the emotion that we're feeling even when we're not speaking, so too does the way that we speak, the way that we say things. That kind of also gives out messages to people about what we are feeling and thinking. And it makes a really big difference to how people feel about us, how people respond to us. Because, as I'm sure you know, if you maybe had one of those days when you haven't really been very mindful and you haven't noticed the feelings in your body or mind, and you've maybe used a tone of voice that's a bit aggressive or rude or annoyed with someone that you shouldn't have, which I guess is everyone, then you might have had a bad reaction to that. Because even if we are feeling really happy and calm and relaxed, if somebody speaks to us in a really unpleasant tone of voice, then it's likely that's going to make us feel a little bit angry or annoyed or upset, and we're going to react in a way that kind of is led by those emotions. So the more that we are aware of our tone of voice, the better our conversations, our teamwork, our relationships will be. How we're going to do this then? Just like yesterday, I'm going to disappear off screen in a moment, and I am going to give you some pause time if you want to get whiteboard pens, or paper, pencil, whatever you need. There's going to be sentences, phrases up on the board, and you will hear these spoken, and then you will have time to work out which of four emotions the tone is closest to. If you need to get something, I'm going to give you that pause time now. Okay, so I'm going to read out the emotions, and then I'm going to read out the phrase using a particular tone of voice, and you just have to guess which tone it is, which is closest to. So round one, here we go. Excited, calm, bored, and happy. And here it is. How are you? How are you? 10 seconds. And the answer is bored. Not a nice one to hear, really. Okay, next one. The emotions are disgusted, upset, angry, or calm. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. 10 seconds. Yep, that was an angry tone. I think I can forgive you if you said disgusted as well, because they're very similar. And just imagine the difference if someone was asking you to do something and you used a calm tone instead and said, I'll do it later. I mean, they might still complain, but you're definitely going to get a better result. Anyway, next one. So your words are disappointed, aggressive, distracted, or genuine. Here we go. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. 10 seconds. And it's genuine. Hopefully you got that one. You maybe might have gone for disappointed there. such a difference there. When an apology is genuine, it really can mean something. If it's done in a tone of voice that basically means that the person saying it is just having to say it or is annoyed to say it kind of gives the opposite message. Next round. The words are nervous, silly, calm, or rude. And the words are I don't want to. Again, I don't want to. 10 seconds. And the answer there was nervous. It's quite close to calm, that tone, but I think if you listen really closely, you can hear a kind of lowering of the voice, a quietening, and maybe almost a little shaking as well, that shows us that somebody's a little bit worried, nervous about doing something. And last one, your words are embarrassed, shy, angry, or upset. Here it is. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. 10 seconds. And that one was angry. It's quite different to the other version of anger that we looked at before, because that was quite loud and quite fast paced. This one was slower and a little bit quieter, but you could still really hear the anger in those words. Goodness me, it doesn't get a good reaction speaking like that. I didn't even like saying it. Okay, if you want to pause on this now and talk about what you noticed, anything like that, then of course you are welcome to, but I am going to move on to part 2. Okay, much like the body language yesterday, that might have been quite challenging because it is difficult to pick up what somebody's tone really means. It's not really something that we can ever know for sure for 100%. It's just something that it really helps to pay attention to. Now for this second part, it's over to you, and I want you to have a go at reading out some different things using different tones of voice. So again, like yesterday, if you want to write these down and then see if you can get people to have a few guesses, see if they can guess your tone of voice, then brilliant. If you are feeling like a real challenge, I would try and do this with eyes closed or in some way that people cannot see you, because when we're acting things like this out, we can't really help sometimes doing the body language at the same time. So if they can't see you, then they'll be forced to just really listen mindfully to that tone of voice. I've put some things that you can say up on screen. I've put some emotions, but obviously you can read out different things. You can choose different emotions if you've got more that you'd like to add to this list. You do what works for you. Just make sure the other people know if that's what you're doing. Otherwise, they'll be guessing forever. Take as long as you need for this, and I'll see you when you're done. I hope that you had fun doing that. And again, as I said yesterday, it doesn't matter if you weren't getting them right all the time. It is a very tricky thing to do, and this is much more about developing the skill of noticing and really listening to tone of voice, because sometimes when people speak, we're not even really looking at them. Sometimes we're looking out of a window, we're looking around, we're thinking about something, we're looking at a phone or something else, and we miss tone of voice. We miss that chance to really notice how somebody's feeling. So that's really what we're working on. Okay, before we go, a little bit of self-reflection. I want you to think about what tone of voice you have been using today. What's the most commonly used tone of voice, do you think? Have you been calm? Have you been excited, relaxed, confident? Have you been a little bit impatient and annoyed? Is the tone of voice you've used different for different people? Are you maybe speaking to your brother or sister with a little bit more annoyance than you might speak to a classmate or a adult in school? It depends on where you've been. It depends on, I guess, how many people you're seeing at the moment. But I just want you to think about that, maybe in general. Do I use a certain tone for certain people? And lastly, are you happy with this tone of voice that you've been using? Could you improve it in any way? Could you maybe be calmer with that person who is perhaps winding you up a little bit? Just a thought. Okay, day 59 challenge, and it's our trusty favourite this week of turning nouns into verbs. Now, I want you to really think about how you can do that using tone of voice. The words I gave you were focused, kind, calm, happy, energetic, or resilient, where we don't give up. All I want you to do is keep checking in with your own tone of voice and keep getting curious, keep asking, what is my tone of voice saying about me and how I feel right now? What message is it giving out? Is it helping my mood or not? Is it helping people around me or not? And if it isn't, how can I try and improve it? Extra fun EBI again today. I want you to see if you can play a secret game, and I want you to notice people's tone of voice. And again, if you're not really going out, you could actually listen to people on TV and see if you can notice the tone there. What emotion would you say that tone was? Just so we're trying to get curious, we're trying to build up more awareness of how other people are feeling just by listening to them and how they say things rather than what they actually say. As always, if there's any problems, any questions, anything you'd like more of or less of, anything you're curious about, then you can give an adult a nudge. They can share to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Details are on the screen. Just a reminder, tomorrow we are thinking about change and thoughts relating to transition because summer is fast approaching. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.